What's up everybody, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. I'm working on an 02 Chevy pickup with a 5.3 engine. Guy was telling me that he's driving along, all of a sudden the truck just started dying on him. Give it the gas and just die. Start right back up, drive it and just die. He said he thinks it feels like the fuel pump to him. So I asked the guy, I said, well, any check engine lights? He said, well, he's had a check engine light on, but it's been on for probably about a year now. And he just did the scanner on it before he brought it to me. He said he didn't see anything to do with the fuel, but he did see some EVAP codes, so he replaced some of the EVAP sensors. I think he said a purge valve and a vent solenoid, replaced both of those. Still driving along and it just cuts off and dies. Start right back up, but just keeps dying. So in this video, let's see if we can figure it out. Let's get into it. All right, I'll do my best to give you a good view. I'm outside and the glare out here is horrible. I already got the scanner hooked up. Let's go to powertrain. We have a cable driven with throttle cable. We're going to go to the engine. You know, it very well could be just a fuel pump, but with the check engine light being on so long, I just kind of want to go through it myself and see exactly what's going on. Display codes, all powertrain codes. So the 4 codes we got popping up: bank 1 is lean, bank 2 is lean, crane sensors out of range, and the EVAP system vent control circuit is low. I'm not really concerned with the other 2, but I am looking at the fuel system. With both of those being lean, it's most likely going to be a fuel pump. So let me go ahead and throw my meter on here, or my fuel pump gauge should I say, and let's see what the pressures are. So one thing I did want to say, he did tell me that when starting the vehicle, I don't know, within the last 2 or 3 months, it started developing, like he would turn the key to start it, and you know how the fuel pump's supposed to prime itself, and then when you go to start it, it starts right up. He said he'd go to start it, nothing. He had to cut the key off, cut it back on again, then it would start up. So it's possible that check valve in that fuel pump is bad. So he probably had 2 things going on. The check valve is located on this side of the engine, passenger side, just right up here by the intake. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick and tired of waking up in the mornings when it's chilly outside and all of a sudden by the end of the day it's 95 degrees and you're sweating your butt off. All right, we got pressure, PSI. We need to zero this thing out. All right, we are sitting at 0. I hope you guys can see this. Let's do this here. So the one thing I like about this gauge here is I can turn the Bluetooth on and I can hit connect. And it takes me right to this. So I can go sit inside the car, start it up and watch it. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is cut the key on. And it only builds up to about 10 PSI. Y'all hear that clicking? I got a blend door actuator motor going. That's aggravating. Cut it off, cut it on. Same, let's start it up. Yeah, it's just dying out. That's why it's lean. 8 PSI, 7 PSI for a fuel pump. Let's go look and see what the specs are supposed to be. But I know it's gotta be more than 7 PSI. So I came inside the building, hopefully to look up. The glare was so bad out there, I couldn't even see what I was doing. Let's go back to the home screen. Let's go to, no, I don't wanna go there. Why'd I do that? Service and repair. 1500 series Silverado. Okie dokie. Type in here fuel pressure. It's gas, 2-door pickup, rear wheel drive. Boom. Specifications. All right, so looking at right here, the specs are 55 to 62 if the VIN is a VTU, or 48 to 54 if it's a Z. Either way, we're way out of specs, so we're definitely going with a fuel pump. All right, so I got off the phone with the customer. He approved the fuel pump. My guy Carl is going to put it in. Once he gets that done, we'll go ahead and take them readings again and we'll see what the difference is. But I'm 99% sure it's going to take care of that problem. I say 99% because you always got to leave 1% for human error. All right, Carl, any words of wisdom?
Make sure you secure the tank.
It's got to have a tank in it too, to be honest with you. I forgot to tell you that. When he says secure the tank, he wasn't joking. Oh yeah. Not a bad looking truck for a 2002 though. Everything looks good. Got dual exhaust going out the rear.
Clean truck.
It's super clean.
And after that Triton, I might be a Chevy guy now.
I know that was the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. So he just put spark plugs on it. What was it? A something Ford? It was a 5.4 Triton, right? And that's got those stupid ass long plugs in it. Here, I'll show you. It's got these long plugs in it. And of course, when you're doing it, they always break, and this is what you end up with. That's part of the plug, and the rest is stuck in there. This is the part you got to pull out, and they make a special tool for it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever designed that plug, I guarantee you designed that tool. They're making money on both ends. That's the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life. So we got the 69 Camaro just about all wrapped up. We got to put some glass in it. It's got dust on it right now, sitting here. There's the engine. She's mean. It's got a custom grill on it. Came out of, I believe, California. Guy hand makes them. .500 horsepower. We're doing all black. He's going to go black door handles, black trim. We blackened all this out. Everything's going to go black. Flat black. It's got ghost stripes on it. I'm not sure if you can see it. That'll come out pretty cool. Won't be long now. And I'm not sure if y'all have seen this one ever, but the 67 Mercury convertible. We've got it painted, putting it back together. It's just going to be a daily driver. It's not going to be a show car. Kind of like that one there. That didn't start out being a show car. That started out being just a regular, just a put together car, and then a bottle of liquor later and 2 cases of beer, and this is what we ended up with. Every time my brother and him sat down behind the computer in there, he kept adding and adding and adding things, and this is what he ended up with. It's got a cool air conditioning system in it too. It's believe it or not, it's factory. Who makes this AC system, you said? Who made the AC system? Vintage Air. It's got Vintage Air in it, and that's all from Vintage Air. Matter of fact, it tucks up underneath there and it blows out just like factory air. It's got custom gauges in it. Now we're not doing the interior. He's getting that done by somebody else, but when I get all the glass in it, we got it washed and cleaned outside. I'll show you guys the finished project. That's my boy Danny working on an older Oldsmobile. All right, so right in the middle of taking the tank down, the jack wanted to crap out. The valve over here that you push to lower down the tank, this right here decided it wanted to stick in the damn tank, damn it went to the floor. But this tank was disasterized. It was ate up with dirt, trash, everything else. This hose here, we're probably gonna have to replace it. I don't think it's gonna last much longer. It means I got it down, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. If you look right here, this is the pump. It's gonna come, the new pump we're getting from the dealer. It's gonna come with both the sensors and everything. I'm not going aftermarket on pumps. I hate doing aftermarket pumps on tanks. It's just a pain in the ass is what it is. Because you always seem to do it twice. That's why they give you a lifetime warranty, because they know they sold you like Tommy Boy, a guaranteed piece of shit. All right. When we get the new one here, I'll show you what the part number is. All right, I just went and picked up the part from GM. The part number is a 19369915. A genuine GM part. If you're doing fuel pumps and things, this is the only way to go, to be honest with you. The warranties on those, like say I was telling you earlier, on the aftermarket pumps, you get a good warranty, but they have to do that. They don't care how many times you gotta do the job, but that's how it comes. You get a new gasket. You get a new float It's like Christmas in a box. All right, he'll go ahead and get it installed on the car, or in the tank, should I say. We'll get it up, and this job is almost done. All right, so we got everything done. He's got the gas tank in. Hey, Carl, go ahead and walk around and just cycle the key. Let me look at the pressure. Cycle it on.
On.
Cut it off.
Off.
Cut it on.
On.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. 54, baby. Start it up. Not too bad, right at 50. It's a little below specs, but that'll get the job done. All right. Woohoo! Got plenty of pep now. All the gauges look good. All right. I think we're good to go. So as you can see by the test drive, everything went great. Plenty of pep, no check engine lights. And I'm pretty sure that that crank sensor, that code was caused by the engine. It was bucking and cutting off and things like that. And that probably threw that code. The only code he's gonna probably have come back, like we said a little while ago, was gonna be that EVAP code. He had some hoses he needed to put on. He said that he thought were dry rotted somewhere. Again, I didn't go through that system and look at it. He's gonna do that himself. All right, all that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.